Good morning and welcome to today's edition of Sex in the News. It's Thursday, July 10th, and I just was a bit inspired to talk about some things that came up today in the New York Times, particularly around AI. And I know perhaps a lot of people are super excited by all of the things that AI does currently and can do, but a lot of us in the field that I work in, which is working with individuals who commit sexual offenses and trying to prevent sexual offending in general, or the harm to, particularly sexual harm to children, but sexual harm to all others, we struggle with some of the things that AI can do. And today's two articles talk about this specifically. The main article that spurred me to have a chat this morning is from the New York Times by author Cecilia Kang, talking about AI-generated images and how they are indeed flooding the internet. And again, this in and of itself is not news, but some of the data that she put in this article from the New York Times was alarming, and as a data person, also very interesting. So the Internet Watch Foundation, which is a British nonprofit organization, I'd say similar to NCMEC in the US, where you can report sexual abuse imagery and things like that, put out some data looking at the first half of this year. And here's a couple of the statistics that are pretty alarming. So they reported in their collection of child sexual abuse imagery, 1,286 AI-generated videos of CSAM so far this year. So that's, say, the first 6 months of this year. In all of 2024, they reported in the first half of 2024, they reported 2. So the first half of this year, 1,286. The first half of last year, 2. So it's just this exponential increase in the CSAM that's being reported. And that's, again, just kind of what's being reported. That's not even what's being generated this year over last year. And again, the technology is ever evolving and ever improving, which means that the ability for it to be used for nefarious reasons is also ever evolving. Similarly, NCMEC, which in the US is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the first half of this year received 485,000 reports of AI-generated CSAM, both still images and videos, and compared to all of last year, they received 67,000 reports. So again, the increase in the amounts of AI CSAM imagery that is being reported is exponentially increased, right? So probably a combination of things, and there's no way to suss that out just from numbers, is that absolutely there's an increase in the production of it, but there also could be, in fact, an increase in awareness of it and more people reporting it. So the more people reporting is good. The exponential increase in production is really horrific and a bit terrifying. And so in the US, we do have federal laws against CSAM that does cover AI-generated images, even those images that are wholly created by technology. But each state is going to have some different ways that they deal with that. And not, a lot of states are kind of really trying to play catch up, right? Technology always evolves faster than the law's ability to kind of catch up to it. So it's a lot of the new AI content is the base of it is real imagery of child sexual abuse that's then kind of reused in the AI videos. So some good news is that the article does report that there are 35 tech companies that do report AI-generated images of CSAM to NCMEC, so it is getting reported. They cite as an example Amazon, which has AI tools in its cloud computing. In the first half of this year, Amazon reported 380,000 incidents of AI-generated CSAM. So that's a lot, but also kudos to Amazon for reporting that. They said OpenAI reported 75,000 cases and Stability AI reported under 30. One of the struggles with AI is we know that real time, live time, there are individuals who will, end up contacting children online or via social media apps or, gaming apps and things like that, and kind of groom them and coerce them into creating sexual imagery and then blackmail them. But what AI has now allowed is for these individuals to create sexually explicit imagery of these children, fully AI, right, using just school pictures or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok pictures, and then blackmail the children with those. So it's the children, they don't even necessarily know what's going on. They didn't participate. And I don't mean that to say consensually, but they weren't kind of groomed or manipulated or abused into creating those images. It could just be totally AI deep fakes, and they are being blackmailed with those. So again, while the AI being used for the generation of CSAM is not new, the rate at which it is growing is alarming. And again, something for parents or for anyone out there to very much be aware of is, safety and privacy of anyone's image online, but particularly your children's image online, because they don't even need a sexual image. They don't even need a bathing suit image that was taken in pure form, but just they could literally just take an image of a child, their face, and create some kind of child sexual abuse material from that. The other piece that stood out today, similar, relating to AI or deepfakes, is that the country of Denmark trying to figure out a novel way to help people, right? Because we always say, like, once your image is out on the internet, you can't really get it back. So the Danish government is trying to use copyright law as a way to kind of get around some of the struggles these laws have. And the proposed law gives people the right to their own voice, their own facial features, and does not allow anyone to copy that with their consent. So basically, like, our being has a copyright just because we exist. And then creating a deep fake would violate the person's right to protect their own likeness from manipulation of any kind. So instead of trying to attack it from a way of, like, you can't make these images of people, the creating of deepfake imagery being illegal, it's literally saying, hey, as a human, I have a copyright on myself, and anytime you use that without my permission, you're violating this proposed law. And part of what this is talking about is the bill would make social media companies responsible for removing offending deepfakes, but not penalizing the users who post them. And they said that most platforms do not actually remove deepfakes, and if they don't, under this new law, they would receive a fine. So it's just an interesting way to kind of try to get at handling legally the malicious actors who use people's publicly posted non-sexual imagery for nefarious purposes.